Welcome to Medica Nova Wellness Studio. I'm Dr. Angelika Koch with the educational videos about optimal health and the most innovative and holistic approach to your well-being. As we are still focusing on the symptoms and diseases around the head area, let's take a look at your ears today. Your ability to hear and sense your environment, as well as hearing what is conveyed to you, is a vital aspect in experiencing a life-affirming life. In this video, I will share with you all about how you can heal your annoying ringing in your ears, also called tinnitus. So enjoy this video. To stay updated with more ongoing videos, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel, share and like it with your friends and family, and don't forget to click that bell as it notifies you every time I upload a video. The exciting news: for the month of May, Medica Nova Academy offers 20% discount of all certified comprehensive home study online courses. So if you're interested in learning about homeopathy for the whole family, homeopathy applied for pregnancy, birth and postnatal care, integrated mental health, health coaching, quantum healing and so much more, have a look at my website medicanova.net at the online academy for all the information. And if you're interested in a personal health consultation, either for yourself or your children, contact me at health@medicanova.net. So thank you. So what is tinnitus? Well, tinnitus is one of the most common somatic symptoms that affect us all. Somatic means it affects the whole body. In Latin, the word tinere actually means to ring. And most experts refer to tinnitus as the condition that causes ringing in the ears, but there can be also abnormal sounds or sensations associated with tinnitus. The official definition is the perception of noise or ringing in the ears, or hearing sounds in the ears when no external sound is present. It affects about 10 to 15% of children and adults who experience on and off, time to time, tinnitus. But overall, I would say 50 million Americans are affected, so it is an issue. Most experts actually believe that it's not a disorder in itself, but rather one symptoms of another, a sort of underlying disorder that affects auditory sensations and nerves near the ears, and I can really verify that. I may talk about this in a minute. For many tinnitus symptoms, they come on gradually and go away, and for some, they really suffer from it, from a long-term situation, and then it comes also with various complications. The ones who suffer from long-term, I would say they also experience psychological imbalances here, and it often can lead to anxiety and depression. And it becomes more of a complex situation. So before I share with you natural and effective protocols, let's first take a look at the metaphysical meaning of tinnitus, and just gives you a little different stance about this whole situation and some inspiring food for thought today. So when I looked online and researched a little bit about the metaphysical meaning, I found a great article from Alex Miles, and she informed us that when there is no medical condition, it is widely believed that the sound or sensation of ear ringing is due to being tuned into the divine sound of the universe and resonating with source energy. Well, when I just read that sentence, I thought, maybe tinnitus is not such an annoying, symptom. There's actually another story behind it, and maybe it's pointed to something else. Maybe it's actually a little friend rather than an enemy. So this is associated with spiritual awakening and is sought to happen when our energetic vibration is lifting and we are on the path to ascension. Our energy body is attuning to much higher frequencies then. When we are able to hear subtle sounds, it is believed we have the ability to hear the sound of creation taking place. Well, that is beautiful, huh? And it often means something new and big is happening somewhere in the universe that will have a direct impact on our lives. Now, along with noise or sensation in their ears, many people do experience enhanced empathy, even compassion, along with, the buzzing sensation around the crown chakra. There can be dizziness, nausea, tingling in the face and head, maybe tension headache, maybe sleep pattern interruptions, all of that, all keynotes of tinnitus. So this high-pitched ear ringing is one of the major signs that we are temporarily unbalanced and that we are going through a spiritual transformation. It is said to be a message from the higher realms that an important life change is coming, and this is an energetic way of higher energy forces actually tapping into our conscious awareness so that we stay alert and pay attention. It's like a knock on the door and saying, hey, change is about to happen. So many people perceive ear ringing as a confirmation that they are on the right path and as a symptom of heightened vibration, which opens access to enter higher dimensions, for example, moving from the 3rd dimension to the 4th to the 5th dimension. I think this is so important, this message right now, because in this current health crisis, what we experience, many people experience heightened anxiety, worries, concern about their personal lives as well as the economic situation. The world is changing. There's no doubt about it. We are changing, right? We are ascending. We are going into a different frequency. So I thought this was very appropriate because tinnitus might not be just a disease here. So these messages are also viewed as downloads, which infuse us energetically with the specific information, knowledge, and wisdom that we require to sail through particular challenges or troubles with ease and not with hardship. Other sources inform us that tinnitus has actually nothing to do with our ears. It's actually a brain dysfunction that specifically affects our limbic system in the brain, and that's the seat of our emotion. So in fact, it's the added stress that our tinnitus symptoms triggers that puts our limbic system into a state of malfunction. It's almost like tinnitus is essentially the tiger we are running away every day. It's like the fight and flight response. And then it becomes a vicious cycle. It's the persistent stress response or emotional reaction to tinnitus that forces the phantom noise to hold us prisoner. So we don't like the ringing in the ears, of course, and then we get annoyed and stressed about it, but there's another story which is stressful already behind it, and it becomes this domino effect. I looked also on Louise Hay's research, and she educated us that tinnitus or ringing in the ears means refusal to listen, right? Not hearing your inner voice. There's a stubbornness about, I don't want to hear it. So today I ask yourself, what do you refuse to hear? Right? Is your spouse getting on your nerves? Right? How about your boss's nagging voice? How about your children? Right? How about the circulating and often confusing information about the current health crisis and changing economy, as I mentioned before? Ask yourself, am I surrounded with a frequency which is life-affirming or life-depleting? Of course, life changes help here. And I really suggest them highly here. For example, counseling, support groups, which help you with the coping strategies or education. I hope this video will help you a little bit here as well. Others lean to biofeedback in order to learn how to control the stress responses. Cognitive behavioral therapy is very suggested here, and others use masking devices or hearing aids that can serve as sound therapies and can be used to sort of dull the intensity, of the unwanted sounds. can be maybe a white noise machine, or others use apps on their iPhone. I would say in general avoid places where there are just loud noises. So if you're in a work environment where you use heavy machinery or construction equipment, that can lead to tinnitus. And don't use Q-tips, because it just blocks your ears. You want to get the earwax out, but you can damage your ear or even can create inflammation. Avoid over-the-counter prescription drugs, painkillers that can even lead to tinnitus, and of course no recreational drugs, especially during pregnancy, because it affects the nervous system of the fetus, as well as excess smoking and alcohol consumption. I would say in general, reduce your stress. Find some tools, meditation, yoga, breathing practices, because it really triggers the inflammatory process within the body. But also stress can make tinnitus symptom worse by changing how your brain actually reacts to noises it hears. Also, if you suffer from seasonal or food allergies, that can act on your ears, and here I advise anti-inflammatory diet. So what are the symptoms? I looked around and I like Dr. Axe's summary on his website the most. And he was saying it's a hearing phantom sound when no sound is actually coming from any outside source. That can be ringing, clicking, sizzling, buzzing, hissing, humming, roaring, all of that. Some also describe that there is a difference between the intensity, the onset, the volume, and the type. So sometimes it's slow and soft, others is louder and faster. One of my patients once said it's like a steam engine, so letting off steam, or like a train, moving into the station, this roaring sound. Others maybe describe it as a heartbeat, breathing, or even inside swirling of a seashell, whatever you experience. And rarely you can hear music, then it becomes a psychological issue. And I said before, some people experience anxiety and depression, and then it really it can end up in irritability or fatigue and even insomnia, because you can't even sleep them in the night. And worse comes to worse, even suicidal thoughts. The loud sounds, they can interfere with your ability to concentrate or to hear the actual sounds, which then leads to brain fog or confusion, trouble focusing. In children, their speech is affected. And tinnitus also, of course, gets worse with age, especially elderly people who are affected with hearing loss already. So what are the cause and the risk factors? Well, nobody really knows, but we know it's associated with neural or brain or nerve injuries that affect the auditory pathway and therefore someone's ability to hear the sounds. If you have a history of ear disorders, ear infections, even cardiovascular disorders, because it blocks the blood flow, nerve damage, scars in the middle ear, maybe old age already I mentioned, males are also more affected. Or if you experience TMG, right, it's like neurological ailments in your jaw, head injury, neck injuries, of course upper respiratory infections like sinusitis, and all the things which I mentioned already before. But there can be also other conditions or disorders that affect the nerve channels leading to the ears, which can cause someone to hear abnormal ringing or other sounds in the ears. So their condition maybe already include dizziness, hearing loss, headaches, facial paralysis, nausea, loss of balance, and so on. And then doctors usually use these clues to uncover the underlying cause of tinnitus. I said it's more of a complex situation. If you have ear canal obstructions, infections, injury and surgery, that comes to mind. Also, people often say it feels like a swimmer's ear, that they feel like they're underwater all the time and the ear is blocked. Other ear disorders maybe are tied to tinnitus include sort of changes to the bones inside the ears, or maybe the membrane is perforated already in the past from injuries. Inner ear damage is usually the most common type of ear disorders that causes tinnitus, and this changes the way these tiny hairs inside the ears move in relation to the pressure of the sound waves, and therefore causes these false electrical signals to be sent through the auditory nerves to your brain. There can be vertigo involved, and I would absolutely mention hormonal changes, adrenal weakness, thyroid imbalances, as well as pregnancy. So today I want to also talk about Meniere's disease, which is a disorder of the inner ear that causes episodes in which you feel as if you're spinning, right? There's a vertigo involved with it, and you have fluctuating hearing loss with a progressive and ultimately permanent loss of hearing. And there's ringing in the ear, tinnitus involved. And sometimes also this feeling of fullness, pressure in the ear. And often it affects only one ear, so that really makes it unique. It occurs at any age, but usually starts between 20 to 50 years old. It's considered a chronic condition. And it's difficult to treat, but I give you good tips here, how you can maybe turn this around. The cause of Meniere's disease is not understood. That's just the case. But one popular theory is that, hasn't been proved, but there is a little bit sort of an abnormal amount of fluid in the inner ear, and they found that out when they did autopsies. But it's not clear that it causes actually these episodes. But the factors that affect the fluid, or this accumulation of fluid which might contribute to Meniere's disease, include improper fluid drainage, perhaps a blockage in the ear. And I talked about the anatomic abnormality, that the bones have maybe shifted, abnormal immune response, allergies, viral infections, maybe a genetic predisposition, yes, head trauma, migraines, and so on. In integrated medicine, and here it comes, we believe that the ears are actually linked to the bladder and the water element. Hence, I have personally, in my experience and in my clinical practice, more results if I use a more overall protocol which focuses on the liver, the left liver lobe, your digestive system, your colon, your thyroid, your adrenals, and the water element. And then we have a little bit more oomph to break through this here. Now, what are the signs and symptoms of Meniere's disease? I talked about recurring episode of vertigo, hearing loss, ringing in the ears, and this feeling of fullness in the ear. So what would you choose in natural supplements? Well, I tell you what, there are not many out there on offer. So you have to create a whole personal protocol here, but I would certainly suggest ginkgo biloba. It's a fantastic herb which stimulates the circulation, especially in the head area, or also if you have a weakness of memory coming on. I also would include zinc, 30 milligrams a day, because it's an essential trace mineral and is involved in the nerve transmission throughout the auditory pathways. And there were quite a lot of studies involved in it, which says zinc is a good one here to include. Now, in my practice, Medica Nova, as an external application, I bring in the Wu oil. It comes from Systemic Formulas. It's fantastic oil. We call it the medicine chest in a bottle. It's the wonder oil because one of the main ingredients is called warm seed essential oil, and it's a yang energy and it supports against circulation. So external application means 3-4 drops into the ear, into the affected ear, and then clog it up with a cotton wool, particularly during the night. Use it twice a day for quite some time, and it will really heal the lymphatic drainage of your ear. Wonderful. But with all that, I absolutely would bring in my favorite remedies, homeopathic remedies. And in this video, as in all my previous videos, I only talk about the ones you could purchase at your local health food store, so nothing too complicated. Homeopathy works very well with Meniere's disease. I would suggest the potency 30, which is over the counter. And for adults, I would say 1 tablet morning and evening for 10 days. But always remember to contact your healthcare practitioner or contact me at medicanova.net, at health@medicanova.net. Now, the first remedy I will talk about is called Ginenium sulphuricum. If you don't get it in your health food store, you can get it online. It's a specific remedy indicated for Meniere's disease. So with homeopathic remedies, I want you to look out for the keynotes, right? We don't look for general prescription for tinnitus. We look for your really unique expression of what is your tinnitus, right? Some have more echoing sound, some is more hissing, some is more buzzing, some is more like a gunshot. So we want to look for specific remedies because then it works. Now with Ginenium sulphuricum, the keynote is that it has a periodic pattern. It comes and goes, but every month, every 3 weeks, this kind of thing. It's very specific for that. And it's the leading symptom for this remedy. There is this unusual sensation of roaring in the ears and is invariably associated, of course, with vertigo. Big deal here. So there's postural vertigo and heaviness in the ears, and the vertigo could be very sudden in onset. In severe cases, the person may even fall down due to the loss of the balance. And generally, they may feel very uncomfortable in standing postures because they feel like, oh my God, I'm falling over any minute. It's also a desired result, a good remedy if there's considerable degree of hearing loss already present and it affects the left ear. So think about Ginenium sulphuricum. Phosphorus 30 is my next remedy. And here the keynote is that you experience sounds as an echo. Either your own voice becomes an echo or you hear other sounds as echo. It's very unique here. Now, there is this evidence that some patients say, this whole thing started after typhoid fever. Yes, we don't have enough evidence for it, but a lot of patients relate to that. So I just want to point that out. Usually there is a gradual hearing impairment involved. Again, we have vertigo felt on an attempt to rise from the bed. And in severe cases, the person may even faint during an attack of vertigo. In general, the personality with phosphorus, they're very sensitive to bright light, to noises, they're very empathetic to people, right? They feel other people's feelings. They take them on as if it's their own. So in general, their constitution is already heightened sensitivity. Now, needless to say, right? Any sounds or whatever triggers their tinnitus. So it's just part of their personality. And that's why homeopathy is so beautiful here, because it really not just deals with the physical symptoms, but also with the totality of the person. Another remedy which I like to mention here is called Theridion 30. You don't get that in the health food store, you would have to order that online. And here the marked vertigo comes on least motion. Like any movement sets it on and is associated with extreme nausea and vomiting then. Generally, any loud noises make them uncomfortable, creates a discomfort. And the guiding symptom here is that the vertigo comes on when the person closes her or his eyes. It's very unique here. So, of course, people feel like they don't want to travel, right? Because they feel like any movement triggers the tinnitus or triggers the vertigo again. So Theridion is a very good remedy here. Again, there may be a sensation in the ears with fullness and heaviness. Now, if you are a personality with a slow metabolism, very different than phosphorus, right? You may be sweating the night and you take your time, you maybe tend a little bit to obesity. Tinnitus is part of that as well, along with the vertigo. And here in Carbonicum personality, they have a cracking and pulsing sensation in the ear. It's very unique here. Another remedy called Graphitis, again more slow personality. The tinnitus is associated with deafness also. And here we have hissing and clicking sounds. And the loud sounds can even feel like gunshots, right? Really sudden sounds. So this is why I want you to really explore your tinnitus, right? And then we have the right remedies here. Again, people have a slow metabolism. They often also tend to have strong skin ailments like cracking of their skins. If this is all too complicated for you, maybe want to look at a company called BestMadeNaturalProducts. They have a tinnitus natural remedy, and I leave the link in the description box below. It contains calcarb, China sulfuricum and some other remedies, mainly also biochemical homeopathic cell and tissue salts that can be very helpful here as well. I also want to give you some information from a YouTube film from Austin Go. It's called How to Get Rid of Tinnitus Naturally. I will give you the link in the description box as well. And it teaches you some practical exercises how to heal tinnitus naturally and also to decrease the intensity of the sounds. Really helpful here. Of course, homeopathy offers many more remedies here indicated for tinnitus, but as already mentioned, I want to keep it simple here, less complicated, so you actually go out and try these remedies. So I think this is enough info for today. And tinnitus, as I said, is not easy to treat. It needs more of an overall personalized, targeted treatment plan, but there's certainly natural solutions on offer. If you need more help, contact me at health@medicanova.net or via my website medicanova.net. So till next time, much love and enjoy the sounds of this amazing world. Take care.